Hey, this is Travis with Air Power Live, and today I want to talk to you really quick with these guys, Tyler Mabe. Tyler, how you doing?
Good, bro.
Chris Hawkins, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
All right. These two guys represent the Air Power Service Department and field service. Two very different things with Air Power. They both do very similar work, but in very different fields. So, in those repairs, we've done a podcast that covers the entire gamut of what their departments do. But today we want to talk about two things. One, service contracts and blanket POs. So, basically, in your world, we're talking blanket PO. In your world, we're talking a service contract. So, Chris, take us in a journey here real quick on why it's important for the viewer to have a service contract with Air Power.
A service contract just takes care of your routine maintenance, keeps you from the breakdowns from the emergency, and just keeps you up and running. You're able to keep things flowing smoothly in your operation.
So, and that could be anything from calibrations to checking critical functions on certain equipment. It's not just when it breaks down; it's also
Yes.
preventative as well.
It's more preventative.
Yep.
Yes.
So basically, they're agreeing to bring Air Power in as an entity that basically keeps things running smooth on certain pieces of equipment.
Yes.
Okay. Your world, you're dealing with
A blanket PO.
blanket PO, which basically gives you what? Gives the customer what?
So a blanket PO keeps our customer from having to keep reaching out to their accounting department to cut them new POs for repairs that we're doing for the customer.
So if they have like 40 tools.
So I mean, we have customers that'll send in, let's say, 10 tools a week.
Okay.
Now each week they're not having to reach out and get another PO from their accounting department to give to us
Yep.
to repair their equipment.
But you're just
So-
reaching back and
All
saying,
they'll get from us is the repair is under 50%. How would you like to proceed? They can say
yes or no.
yes or no, and we already have a PO, which is their blanket PO. We just charge it to the blanket PO. Most blanket POs are up to a certain amount, so say like $5,000
As
quarterly.
a safety.
It's just
Yeah.
a safety net.
Yep.
So like once we're within about $500 to $1,000
Of that
of reaching
blanket.
that limit, we'll call the customer, let them know, hey, you're reaching your limit on your blanket PO, and that's when they'll generally send another blanket PO.
Okay.
But it's actually just saved their guy time
Right.
from having to keep reaching out to his accounting team.
Okay. Very cool.
Blanket POs can also be used in the field service side of things, and it speeds the process up on as far as the time it takes for us to get out there.
Right.
If they have a blanket PO, it covers everything.
You don't have to go through the accounting checks and the checks and balances to make sure that everybody's authorized and everybody's paid and ready to go.
I think there's a misconception with a blanket PO, and that is, well, if we give you a $5,000 blanket PO, are you going to try to put as many parts in my tool as you can to make more money off of it?
Okay.
And that's
I
not
see that.
accurate.
I see what
Because
you mean.
what we want to do is we want to keep the tool under 50% of the cost of a new tool in order to be able to repair that tool.
Right. And at the same time, the customer still has the
Oh, the
ability to
customer
say
always,
no.
Yep, they can
You're-
always say no.
Everybody just has to understand that the only reason that that's there is just to speed up the process
Correct.
for which that particular tool goes into the queue of being repaired.
Correct. Because as we discussed on a previous podcast, the amount of tools you had seen on the shelf in our service department, some of that is waiting on parts. Some of that is waiting on POs from the customer.
Ah, okay.
So we do spend quite a bit of time sometimes trying to obtain a PO from our customer.
And that time, there's a lot of times where the people on the employees on the floor of a manufacturing facility, let's say maintenance or actually production managers or employees that are tasked with handling some of these tasks, have a disconnect with the accounting department or purchasing in their own company.
Right.
It's actually like left and the right hand are having a hard time communicating.
Exactly.
So having a blanket PO organized and arranged alleviates a lot of that
It
problem.
does. Yeah.
And all you got to do is get the authorization, yes or no, after you've presented it to them what's going to happen.
Correct.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time. Like you said, there's a disconnect because I don't know how many times I've been called out by production managers. Hey, we're down. It's an emergency, and I'm saying, okay, give me a PO, and I'll be out. And then it's a day or two before their accounting team gets them a PO.
All
So
right.
it delays the process, and that's that much longer they're down in production.
Are you ready to speed up repairs in your shop? Don't forget, just call 1-800-334-1001. Ask for your account manager or ask someone to help you set up a service contract or a blanket PO for repairs of your equipment. And remember, manufacture it a great day.